Hi guys, in this video we're going to look into local and world space. So these are two different types of space. We're also going to look at component space as well, which is a sort of another sub one. And these are two types of space that I switch between regularly. So if I use my move tool up here, and I'm going to click this button here to access my tool settings, I'm just going to drag that here. It's going to highlight blue and it's going to pop in the side for me so it's not taking up too much space. So on my world, on my axis orientation here, it says world. Now what world means is we've got X, which goes left and right, we have Z, which goes forwards and backwards, and we've got Y that goes up and down. So in world space, that never changes. So if I rotate this object, rotate it around, move it up, my world space stays the exact same. Okay, but we also have object space, sometimes called local space. So if I change this to object, you'll notice that this changes. So when I rotate this, now the object has its own z-axis here. It's got its own y-axis. So up for this object is this way. Okay, because it's been rotated here. Left and right for this object is this way. So imagine when you've got a character and he's walking forwards and he takes a turn, his forward space is now changed. So if he turns to the left, his forward space is now slightly to the left there. Okay, but however, world space, so the space of the world, is still exactly the same. That Z is forward and backwards. So if we just change that back to world space, you'll see that it changes here. So I switch between these depending on how I want to move stuff around. That might be vertices, that might be the whole object, that might be when I'm animating, but I like to change this so that I can move things how I want them to move. Okay. Now, if we drill down into component space is like our vertices, our edges, and our faces. So if I select this face here, and I'm in object mode, you can still see it's the same as the object. So the object Z was forward, the same as if I selected the whole object. If I change this to component mode, you'll notice it changes. So now it's actually really flush to this component. So I could actually move this on that axis there, which keeps this really nice and straight, so it's really handy to use. So I change between world, object, and component all of the time. I change that to normal. That's not giving us anything there at the moment. Okay, but these are the main ones. Sometimes I might use parent, but generally you can create a custom one down the bottom. But generally I like to use object, world, and component there. Okay, this concludes this video on object space and local space, object space and world space. Sorry there. Thank you for your time.